Hi everybody, good morning. It is currently it's 5:20. It's 5:22 a.m. and I wanted to have a very serious discussion today. And this is just my opinion, so bear with me while I explain. This medication that I have been taking for years, the medication Ativan, in my honest opinion, after all these years, I have come to the conclusion that the Ativan is causing my cataracts. The Ativan is causing me to have more anxiety than it is benefiting. And I'm not saying this because somebody is telling me this. I'm saying this because my memory is not as good as it used to be. My cognitive functions have gone down slightly, at least 10%. My thinking has been hindered slightly because of these medications. My eyesight has been deteriorating because of the lorazepam. In a small percentage of people, maybe not me, I don't have glaucoma, but Ativan can cause glaucoma because it increases pressure within the eye. Now, I've been taking Ativan since I was 15 years old. I'm almost 30 years old now. Imagine all those years of my my system being suppressed for so many years. Central nervous system. Just imagine, like, your stomach and your lungs not being at full capacity anymore because of a central nervous system depressant. Yes, Ativan is a good medication for short-term usage. I also noticed that my speech, sometimes I have to repeat myself because sometimes the words come out slurred. It is not because I have a slurred problem. It is not because I've had any TIAs. And it's not because of anything else. It is because of the lorazepam. Now, there's a few things that I've noticed that Ativan causes in certain people. Ativan causes diplopia. Diplopia is called double vision. Now, this only happens to me in dark rooms with like computer backgrounds. So imagine on your finger, right? You look at your finger, right? And then on the finger, you see another finger on top of that finger. That's called diplopia, which is considered double vision. But there's two types of double vision. One is monocular double vision, and two is if you close your eye and you see double vision in both eyes, it's called ghosting. So Ativan over the years has seemed to ruin my vision prematurely. So now I'm developing a small case of cataract. It's not nothing bad. It can be treated. It's annoying, but it can be treated. It's not that big of a deal. I still see perfectly at night. It'll take another 10 or 15 years before it gets bad. If I'm still alive then, because we don't know what's wrong with this world. But at the end of the day, the Ativan has destroyed my body, has messed with my vital signs too much, and I don't want to take it no more. I don't want to be on it no more. I take it now. Now I take lorazepam just to not feel the withdrawal. It barely helps my anxiety. I still have issues with anxiety that I cannot concentrate with unless I take the medication. But then I get that dumbed down feeling of not being able to concentrate clearly. And sometimes I guess I speak too fast, and I notice that in my videos, sometimes I mispronounce a word, and sometimes it comes a little bit slurred. I've tried that Self-X3. I have tried that so many, you don't even understand, man. I've seizured out because of this withdrawal. I've tried over, I would say, since I was 15, 16, no problem, 17, no problem, 18, no problem. I wasn't told about withdrawing and that benzodiazepines were dangerous to suddenly stop until about 21. And that's when I started to really go through withdrawal. And then I would have attacks of something. And then my pulse at one point, guys, when I was taking a certain medication, my pulse was in the 30s. No joke. My pulse would drop to the 30s on a benzodiazepine. When I was like 19 years old, I was taking a benzodiazepine, and with a blood pressure lowering or beta blocker, because they say that beta blockers help with anxiety, but it helped with anxiety, but I couldn't breathe because the beta blocker was slowing my heart rate down to the 30s. And for almost a year straight, I was getting 30 beats per minute when I was laying down and when I was resting. And when I wasn't resting, my heart rate was in like the 50s and the lower 60s. But even when I was exercising, I wouldn't get past 65. And when I would lay down, it would go into the 30s. That's dangerous. That's called bradycardia. And it's dangerous. All because of this anxiety. So now I'm stuck in a dilemma. Take the Ativan, suffer through withdrawal every single time I need to get off it, go to a detox center, and suffer for years, suffer from panic attacks, or do I just take the medicine and let it get its Alzheimer's, and let me get Alzheimer's at 40 years old? And get cataracts prematurely. You guys tell me what the better poison is. Because at the end of the day, Ativan is a CNS depressant. It helps with seizures. It helps with agitation. And it helps with acute panic attacks. But is it worth the Alzheimer's? Is it worth the dementia? Is it worth the hell that every single time I go to a pharmacy, I feel like a drug addict? Every single time I go to a pharmacy, every time I pick up medication, I feel like I'm a fucking drug addict. Every fucking time. Like every single fucking time since I was at least 18 years old, I felt like a fucking drug addict because I'd pick up a narcotic medication. Sorry, I'm getting teary-eyed. It's because I've been suffering for all these fucking years and I don't even know why. I don't even know why. The last 5 years, 10 years, I've been experiencing vertigo, dizziness, off-balancey feelings at times. It comes and goes in waves. And it's not my heart because they've checked it with a dye test to make sure there was no clogging or TIAs or strokes or aneurysm. There's none of that shit. And all these years I've been suffering every single day. I suffer every day of my life. I suffer with or without the medication. I suffer every single day. If it's not one thing, it's another thing. If it's not another thing, it's something else. If it's not something, it's my living situation. If it's not my living situation, it's something stupid. And I just, all these years I've been suffering, and now I have my own place finally with my fiance. After all these fucking years of suffering and suffering more and then suffering again. And after all these years, I finally have a fucking place, an apartment, which I just paid the rent. Literally just paid the rent right now. And it's a good feeling. But I'm still suffering. Now I'm not worried about, everything else internally, like what's going on with Texas or what's going on with New Jersey. New Jersey really did stress me out. It really caused me, I had a really bad vertigo attack while I was walking at a dealership in New Jersey, a car dealership. For some reason, I stood up and I was walking, and all of a sudden I started getting really dizzy. and the room started to spin for about 20 seconds, and then it calmed down real quick. I didn't have any other symptoms, no numbness, no weakness. It just a vertigo attack. And then I had a few, I don't know what it was weird, but I was having like attacks. I was having attacks here in Texas too, but it wasn't a panic attack. And it was something else. I couldn't really explain what it was, but it's just not happening no more. But and we think it was the Ativan that I was taking. It was a different type of Ativan from a different pharmacy. And it was a different manufacturer of generic Ativan. And ever since I stopped taking that medicine, my symptoms went away of vertigo and dizziness. So we were thinking it was that specific dosing of Ativan from a different pharmaceutical company. And it was called Watson, Watson. And ever since I stopped taking that medicine, I stopped having a weird attacks. I was having these weird ass attacks, and I don't know what the fuck it was, but it went away. It wasn't a panic attack. It was something else. It was like it was weird. But at the end of the day, like I can't get away from this withdrawal-y, anxiety-ridden feeling. And then I try to cope, right, by taking different benzodiazepines, Valium, Klonopin. I won't take Xanax because it's such a short-acting benzo. I won't take it. Librium, I've tried Buspirone, Busprar. I've tried beta blockers. I've tried adrenal drugs that target your adrenal glands, but that's dangerous to do because if you're having like somebody chasing you or something like that, or you get into a car accident or you get into an airplane crash, you need your adrenal glands to be working so you can get out of a proper situation. So it's dangerous, in my opinion. I'm not a doctor, but it seems pretty dangerous to be taking anti-adrenal gland drugs that won't let your heart race no matter what. And I say that's pretty dangerous. For years, I have been defending the mentally ill on this channel. For years. I get no recognition for it. I get no recognition for helping people. After all these years, I mean, I've been on YouTube since 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. I've been on YouTube since 2005. And I have never received recognition for helping people. Nobody recognizes me. I'm just a channel with nobody. The planet Earth here, I get no recognition for nothing. I don't want it. I had an opportunity at one time with ABC, and nothing happened. Nothing came out of it because Ben doesn't know what he's talking about. Ben is just a random person on the internet that doesn't care about nobody. Yet I want to speak with my voice, and I want to voice my opinions to doctors, to real doctors of this country, to tell them that benzodiazepine usage long-term is dangerous, but at the same time, some people absolutely need the medication to survive. There's just no way a physical element, there's something physically wrong with them, and they need the consistent CNS depressant to live somewhat of a normal life, to live a little bit happier and healthier. And at the same time, this poison that we take, it's a catch-22. You have the good and then you have the bad. And I just don't understand it. We were put on this medicine, and then every single time I go to CVS, or I go to Walgreens, or if I go to Rite Aid, or if I go to any place that I fill the prescription at, I feel like a drug addict. Because they're so strict with these medications, which is ridiculous, by the way. I hope you guys know that. It's barely a narcotic. It's not even a class 4 substance. It's a class 2 benzodiazepine. I mean, it's not even that bad of a substance, and everybody keeps saying that opioids are dangerous, and it's making the benzodiazepines look bad. Well, guess what? Opioids and benzodiazepines are two different classes of drugs. And yet, everybody that takes these Ativans, everybody just thinks, oh, look at the loser. He takes benzodiazepines. He's a loser. She's a loser. He's a loser over there, and she's a loser over there. Well, guess what, guys? I didn't ask to be born. I didn't ask to come on this earth. I didn't ask to grow up in a violent neighborhood. I didn't ask to grow up in a violent household. That's not my fault. I didn't ask for any of that in my life. Nobody did. And yet we're spinning this little freaking ball in the middle of nowhere. We didn't ask for any of this. We didn't ask for famine, disease, rape, murder, killings. We didn't ask for this. We're just stuck on this planet. Stuck on this stupid ball spinning in the middle of nowhere. And all we have is each other at the end of the day. We're just stuck on this ball spinning in space, just going around a stupid star, and that's it. That's all you have. At the end of the day, the only thing that you have is a stupid ball that spins in space, and there's nothing else out there. No wonder so many people have anxiety. Because they don't know where the fuck they're at. I mean, really. Does anybody know where you're at? Think about it for a second. Like, think about it logically. Where are we? Middle of space? Where? Where? Where are we at? Ask that question to yourself. Where are we at in space and time? This fucking existence is very strange, by the way. I don't know how we're living here. I really don't. I don't know how. Humans are naturally a violent species. I just don't know. I don't know how we're living here. You look up in the stars and you just see all these stars and you're just like, we're pretty fucking small. I mean, when you think about it, like when you genuinely take it as a common sense approach, when you look up into space, you look up into space and what do you see? Stars, right? So when you see the beautiful stars, you know that there are billions and billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of other stars out there. So maybe that's why people have anxiety. Who the hell knows? But at the end of the day, I wish I could get off the Ativan. I really wish I could. I don't want to be on it no more. It's not helping me anymore. None of the other benzos help me. Klonopin doesn't help me. Valium barely helps me. But it doesn't give me that clearer-ish mind that Ativan does. Valium even hinders my mind even more than Ativan. So it's a no win-win-win situation. And then it's sad. You know what the worst part is? The worst part is they give you the medicine to help you, and then they label you a drug addict. Somebody who's on a chemical dependency. So why did you give us the drug in the first place if you're just going to label us drug addicts? Seco Gonzalez, you should keep your comments to yourself. I am very clear-minded right now. But like I said, they're going to call us drug addicts, but yet they gave us the medicine to begin with. So come on, guys, think about it. They started us on that medication, and then they label us drug addicts later. Who does that? Like, really, who does that? Oh, hi, Ben. Today, I'm going to prescribe you 2 milligrams of Ativan. This was the first, by the way, I'm going to reenact exactly the first day I got Ativan, okay? I was in the state hospital here in Texas. So it was court ordered, and it was ordered by a doctor. I was in a mental hospital for almost 5 months straight because I was having panic attacks every day, and I was trying to escape the mental hospital every single day, right? So after 5 months, a doctor said, I don't think he's psychotic. I think he's suffering from anxiety. So the doctor ordered a one point 0.5 milligram injection of Ativan. I went from being crazy fied ish to calm and talking to everybody and being social again within an hour of taking that medicine for the first time. They injected it into my buttocks. It was a very embarrassing, but it was in the seclusion room, so it didn't really matter. But now I look back at that and I'm like, really? And I'm thinking to myself, I can't believe this. I can't believe that I just got injected with Ativan. And I didn't know what it was, so I was really scared when it was happening. And then the doctor wrote me a 3-month supply of Ativan 0.5 2 times a day. And then a couple of years later, it went up to 1 milligram twice a day. And then a few years later, it went to 2 milligrams twice a day. And it's pretty much been that dose since then. And then every time I couldn't take the medication within a certain amount of time, and I would run out when I would move to a different state, I would end up seizuring from the withdrawal. I'm not prone to seizures either. So, how the fuck does that happen? I went from this ADHD kiddo that used to play basketball, that used to just have a lot of fun with everything, and now I've become this agoraphobic-ish person that can barely get out of the house now, that suffers every single day, worries every single day about everything. I worry about a lot of things that I shouldn't worry about every single day. No matter how good I feel, I still worry. How do you go from an innocent child that played basketball, would do sports, go out, meet friends, be with friends, be in public, to somebody years later that's been stuck in a house or an apartment or whatever, and just moved across the country multiple times because I couldn't find happiness? How do you go from being an innocent child to just suffering every single day? And you know what the worst part about the suffering is? There is no diagnosis to it. There's no diagnosis to my suffering. There's no heart disease. There's no brain cancer. There's no cancer. There's no lupus. There's no medical issues. All my blood work always comes back normal, but physically I feel ill all the time, even when I was in shape. So please, guys, you tell me. You guys tell me. How do you go from an innocent child to suffering every single day? You guys tell me. When you guys have an answer to that, leave it on the bottom of this chat when the video is uploaded to YouTube. Because if you have a benzodiazepine experience, you need to share it with us and share it with the public. Thank you guys for watching.